All right, Shalom. Let's start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. The bonus to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, peace and salutations to the whole free elect. Coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And this is a land back off the Elder Yashawamba's video I watched recently, and he spoke on how the 10 world nuclear forces, and when you look for other countries that control it, are who? Edomites, right? Now, this is from the Orange Control Association. It says nuclear weapons, who has what at a glance. So when you look at this map here, it says this is 2020 estimated global nuclear warhead inventories. Check this out. The world's nuclear armed states possess a combined total of nearly 13,500 nuclear warheads. More than 90% belong to Russia and the United States. Approximately 9,500 warheads are in military service, with the rest awaiting dismantlement. Notice the two top nations or countries that they're speaking of, right? These people are Edomites, right? Edomites. Now at the same time, you got, one, the U.S., who is on its way out. That's going to be sparked by who? Well, the bear, okay? Gog and Magog, as the scriptures refer to Russia, which they resemble the end of this thing. All right? So these are two key players that's in this, that control 90% of the nuclear power. You see the rest is the United Kingdom, France, Edomites, right? These are all Edomites, these four I mentioned. United States, or Russia, United States, United Kingdom, and France. And then you got the other nations in there as well, all right? Oh, well, we could add Israel in there, all right? Them fake Jews over there, right? They're Edomites as well. Amalek. So that's the point. That's what I wanted to show you, of who's controlling it, that having that power of this of the weapons, right? Now, let's go to, you got to remember, because this was a blessing that was given unto him. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 27. I want to get to the point, because this is where I want to get to the point where Esau started crying about a blessing, and this is what he was blessed with. Let's start at verse 34. So this is the book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 34. It says, "And when Esau heard these words of his father, he cried with a great exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and have taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is it not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now ye have taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. So everything that he has right now was given into him. Right now he has the fatness of the earth, as the scripture says. What? Book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right? The same individual that was blessed with what? The fatness of the earth. This is what he has now. This is what he controls right now for this for this little season. Verse 40 says, and by thy sword shalt thou live. Right? By thy sword. So these things here, this sword, this is his blessing. All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. This sword that he has, that he obtained, this is this man's blessing. Okay? And this is why you see, when we're looking at this chart of who controls 90% of this nuclear power, the United States, America, Babylon the Great, and who? Russia, the big bear. All right. So verse 40 again, it says, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And that happened. That eventually ended up happening. All right, because he was under a subjection under us, during the time of King David. Okay, but now he's getting ready to go back into the subjection, and he's going to be captive for 1,000 years. And he can't even. You can't even say he could even think about breaking loose, because he's not even going to get that. Because once his 1,000 years is expires, he's going to get Obadiah. Okay, I believe it's Obadiah, verse 18. In fact, let's just go check that. Yep, Obadiah 1 and 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. All right, so he ain't gonna be able to break the yoke off the neck this time. All right, once he gives serve his captivity, once he serve his sentence, it's over for him. He's out of there. All right. Another aspect of thinking of this, right? So even now, when you see these different nations with the little bit that they do have, what did the scripture say? Don't the scripture say, "Let the weak say I am strong"? Let's jump there. Let's go to the book of. That's what I want. Let's see. Yep. The book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, and let them come up. And this is what you see. This is what you see taking place right now, right? Of this war that's being prepared in the Middle East. Verse 10, it says, beat your plowshares into swords, and let your pruning hooks into spears. So these nations are no longer, focused on agriculture, focus on, all their focus right now is on what? Military power, military structure. All right, defense, military defense. All right. Also on the offensive side, this is all their focus is on. So it said, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Right? So these nations that once didn't have this nuclear capability are now able to say what? We have this strength to put up some type of fight back. Right? Now, Russia is a big part in all this as well. Let's go to this. Let's jump to the book of Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 4. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even in great company, with bucklers and shields, of all of them handling swords. All right, so Russia is they're getting put back into into that Cold War world spirit, or Cold War world spirit. right, as they once was. Now, verse 5, it says Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmets, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So a lot of these smaller nations, guess who is a guard unto them? Russia. Russia is a guard unto these nations. This is why you'll hear in different media outlets, through this news and through the rumors of particular nations or Russia backing up, saying, look, you mess with this nation, then you got to deal with us as well. Okay, this is what you hear and see taking place, because Russia is playing a major part in this action, a major role in this action. Okay, but like I said, Russia is a guard into a lot of these smaller nations. A lot of these smaller nations, the U.S. been trying to put sanctions on these nations because what? Russia is being a guard into them. How is he being a guard into them? Well, he's giving them anti-defense missile systems and things of such. And the U.S. been trying to stop these nations from doing it, but these other nations are saying, the hell with that. We're going to do what we got to do. We need to protect ourselves. All right, on top of even the U.S. supplying these different countries before they start to have these different problems with each other. You see? So I mean, that's just all I wanted to touch. You know, pull a things out through the spirit. So like I said, I'm probably going to do a part 2 to this and go into something, pull out another few different examples of dealing with this. All right, but for the lack of time, that's going to be it. Lord willing, I hope it was edifying. So next time I want to say, Shalom.